Hello and welcome again to my study on this Friday morning. And it is, of course, Black Friday, but more of that later. On Wednesday, we held our annual parochial church meeting, which was this year very different. We held it on Zoom, and usually would have been in St Andrews, which would be very busy. But this year we had probably around 40 people join us on this new internet sensation. And although it was very different, there was lots of it that was really very good. It was lovely to see old faces and some new faces, delightful. And it was really good that our community could come together to make sure that the church was right and in a good state for this year and next year. Because this was an annual meeting about 2019. It was supposed to happen in March and happened at the end of November, nearly into December. So it was a bit different from normal, and it was quite difficult to remember that actually we were looking at 2019, not 2020. But we managed, and we got through all the business, and we did all the things we need to do. And more importantly, I think we came together as a church community once again. It has been difficult with the Abbey again closed for general worship, although of course it's still open for personal prayer. But it was a real indication of how important the church as a community is. All those people that make up the church were there together. And it did make me think about the things that that community does, particularly at this time of the year, and particularly our food bank, which has just asked for things for their Christmas parcels for those people who can't afford to do anything. And in this week, when we've had really difficult messages about unemployment in the future, perhaps nothing is as important as making sure, as Jesus taught us, that we look after all of those people who need more than us, who deserve more than they can get. Which brings me nicely to Black Friday. This strange thing that's happened in the last few years, coming from America, which has always celebrated the day after their Thanksgiving, which was the last day in November. That Friday was the day that some people had off as a holiday. And the stores all did their sales on that day, and it was chaos. And it started to be imported over here probably in about the early 2000s. And of course, at one stage, we saw huge crushes in stores opening on Friday very early, some of them 4 a.m. in the morning, for these wonderful bargains. And people going quite crazy, and the police having to cope with it all. And I think we have to put together that idea of amazing sales that people can get all that they need, and the reality of a community in which, of course, what many people need is not much. And so on this Black Friday, I think it's a good time to remember that as a church community, as people together, even on Black Friday, which seems to stretch now for about 3 weeks, strange Friday, but on that day particularly, we should remember all of those people not as lucky as ourselves. By all means, get a bargain, not too many, and certainly not by pushing and shoving. But let's all remember that Jesus taught us that what we do for the smallest and most needy of people, we do for him and we do for God. So a good message for this strange Black Friday, and a beautiful week for the church and its community. It was lovely to see everybody. It was lovely to get the business done. But more importantly, it was lovely to know that as God's community, we can and will come together today and in the future. So let's end with a prayer. God, we thank you for all of the people in your communities across the world which make up your church. Help them to know that by coming together and doing your will, we can and will make a better life for everyone. Amen.